In a few moments, I'm going to list 10 things most people do who feel depressed. I want you to take note and calculate how many of these are things that you do. Ready? Play video games all day. Watch porn. Have no productive hobbies. Avoid social interactions. Waste time scrolling. Have no goals. Neglect your sleep. Don't work out. Eat whatever you want. Have no meaning. Now, could you tell me in the comments which of these things you already do? Now, if you're on this channel, I'm guessing that the main thing that you have a problem with is gaming. Of course, this might not be the only thing that is making your life worse, but it could be one of the most damaging things leading to increased stress, anxiety, and depression. The bigger problem is that all of these mentioned things on the list can cause depression if abused long term. But even if other stuff causes that, gaming, porn, eating junk food, and so on can be used as a coping mechanism to escape reality and intensify depression even further. It's a vicious cycle, and in this video, I want to provide information on how to break that cycle, burn down that mentioned list, and achieve the opposite of depression: happiness. Hi, my name is Cam Adair, and I'm the founder of GameQuitters.com. We help gamers and families get control over gaming so you can live a healthy and productive life. If you want information on our programs, check the links in the description. Before I talk about things you could start doing in order to get out of depression, I first want to emphasize that depression is not the same thing as feeling a little sad, stressed, or anxious. Depression is a serious medical illness that negatively affects a person's daily life long term. And if you feel that you might be suffering severely from it, you should seek the help of a professional. Fortunately, there are steps you can take today by yourself to start improving your life. The first step is to recognize you have a problem. One way you can start to do that is by taking a depression quiz by the NHS. It's free and online, and you can use a link in the description to get your score. You might already know that gaming or the other bad habits I mentioned, the lifestyle choices, are the issues. But sometimes you may not be aware of why you are feeling so negative all the time. For me personally, gaming wasn't always a problem, but it became one when I began to experience a lot of bullying when I was 13 years old. This led me to want to escape, and so I did by playing video games. But then I played them more and more and more until I was no longer going to school and I stopped playing hockey entirely. Instead, I played video games up to 16 hours a day. The real underlying cause for you to be depressed may not be the bad habits themselves, but the problems you are trying to escape from with those bad habits. For instance, for me, it was bullying. You can think about it like this. If you are gaming all day, that may mean two things. One, you have ruined your brain chemistry by only finding gaming as pleasurable and exciting instead of other things. Or you are escaping from something by getting lost in the virtual world. Figuring out which one or both of these things are the issues is the key to becoming aware and unlocking the door out of depression. In my case, the bullying had led to a big issue in my self-esteem, and I didn't want to go to school or play hockey anymore. But that also didn't mean I should play video games all day, every day. The truth is that although gaming might have helped me escape from my feelings, it didn't fix anything, and in fact, just made everything worse. So once you figure out the surface problem of your depression, the next step is to slowly begin improving your life. This means not rushing to fix your life in a day, but understanding that it will take time for you to heal yourself. For me, this was getting a full-time job so I had more structure in my week. So I wasn't sitting around wasting so much time doing nothing where I'd be tempted to game. And the structure of a job gave me more of a foundation to build upon to start feeling better. Eventually, I started working out and starting to be more social and spending more time with my family. Depression itself does not happen in a day, just as reaching happiness and meaning won't happen in a day either. The improvement process takes time, but it is up to you to start the journey. If you're gaming too much, you should try going a day without gaming, or a week, or a month, or even 90 days. If it's too difficult for you to do that, go 1 hour less than you were used to playing. For instance, many of you will play 4 hours a day. Try 2 hours. The main thing is to find the easiest and simplest way for you to begin moving that needle forward. Then once you are comfortable with the new limit you set, you can then begin limiting more, and one day you'll get to a point where for you, gaming just is no longer really a part of your life. The same principle applies to the other bad habits that you might want to get rid of, replace with healthy ones, or develop new ones. If you never work out, then starting to work out every single day might be almost impossible. But if you find that you can start doing 10 push-ups a day, or a walk every day, or a jog for 5-10 minutes a day, You can build upon it, and eventually you can get to the gym and start lifting weights and really feeling a lot better. If you don't have any healthy hobbies that could be fulfilling and productive for you, having a day full of these activities instantly is also unrealistic. So you will have to first find a couple hobbies and then maybe do them for 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, have a couple of them, that's like an hour, hour and a half, and then you can build upon that as well. So try working out for an hour a day and reading for an hour a day, and then maybe talking to a friend on the phone. And don't forget to reward yourself for the small wins. If your main goal is to get out of depression, it will take time before you actually complete that goal. But small and slow steps along the way towards it should be celebrated. I know that's been really motivating for me to celebrate the small wins. That could be going out for a nice meal or buying yourself a new piece of clothing. It can be simple. It doesn't have to be a big purchase, but celebrating yourself for the progress you're making is a positive feedback loop where you make progress and you get a reward. You make progress, you get a reward. And at least for me, that's been really helpful to start making progress in my life. This can also just be about positive self-talk and encouraging yourself to keep going because you recognize yourself for the effort that you're making and for the progress you're achieving. So to recap, you first need to understand if you have a problem. Then take the first step towards making your situation better. And then reward yourself for the progress you make along the way. But in order to get rid of depression fully or for the long term, you should seek to answer what lies below. When a person is deep in depression, they can't just solve the main underlying problem just like that. As I already mentioned, change and improvement takes time, and that's why you have to first begin with the easiest and least difficult steps to start gaining momentum. However, once you are in a better place mentally, you have to start digging deeper into what caused your depression in the first place. Maybe it was gaming or other bad habits that create a lifestyle that became really unhealthy or even led to an addiction. If that's the case, then you are lucky, as it means that this addiction is just caused by the pleasurable thing and not you trying to escape from something. In most cases, however, addiction or unhealthy use happens because you are trying to escape a deeper problem. Figuring out what that problem is and facing it is the most important thing when trying to get rid of depression once and for all. Some of the most common life problems that people have that trigger them to start gaming as a way to escape are being bullied, having low self-esteem, social anxiety, lack of quality relationships with others, and a general poor view of life as meaningless. There's a good chance that if you're addicted to gaming and are depressed, one or more of these problems are things that are causing you to game in an unhealthy way and becoming addicted. Your main purpose should be to aim to fix these problems, as they are the main obstacles that keep you from improving and, in fact, actually degrade your life. Once one or all of these difficult problems are solved, depression usually goes away. For instance, as I started working, my schedule was better, my sleep was better, I started earning money, which made me feel more confident, and overall, I started to get a lot better in my life. That led me to then have bigger goals and continue to make progress more and more. Now, it's not always going to be positive, and there are a lot of struggles along the way. Even once I solved some of the underlying issues I had, like bullying and poor self-esteem and a lack of confidence, throughout my life, there's been a lot of ups and downs either way. Life doesn't just get easier with improvement. You just become stronger and more resilient at stress and negative things that happen in your life. So if you're in this low state right now, then you have a choice to make. You can either start to improve today or live with the regret of that feeling in the future. You have a choice, and choice is a powerful thing. So if you are committed to beginning your self-improvement, write down in the comments one thing that you will start slowly and steadily improving today, because writing things down will make it easier to remember your goal once you are feeling overwhelmed and ready to give up. You have to trust the process. So I can't wait to hear what your habit is in the comments below. Now, often gaming isn't the only habit that's causing us issues. Remember at the start of the video, we talked about porn, social media, just general scrolling and consumption. So you want to watch out for these 5 habits, especially if you're in your 20s, because they could ruin your life.